Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. Before we dive into this powerful episode, please remember to subscribe to our channels and give us a 5-star rating on iTunes to continue hustling. This episode is brought to you by Excite Medical and the DRX 9000, Peach State Payments, Recover, Chiro HD, Softwave, Cool Blue BA, Chiro Health USA, Chiro Script AI, Chiro Moguls, The Chiro Speaking Company, Pure Chiro Notes, 5-Star Forge, Titronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, Life Chiropractic College West, and the IFCO. You can benefit from our full list of sponsors by visiting the sponsor page at chirohustle.com/sponsors. Links in the description. Now, let's hustle.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 672 of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. I'm your producer, Luke Millette, and here's your host, James Chester.
So today we had the opportunity of interviewing Dr. Brent Jenogan. And if you want to hear about his podcast, Becoming the Architect and Finding Your Tribe, stay tuned for the full episode. All right. Welcome back. This is another episode of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. Today I have Dr. Brent Jenogan on here with me, coming in from the Mile High State. I'm out here in Grand Junction. That guy's over there in the Denver area. Before we get into this episode, I just want to let you guys know a few things that we're going to be discussing today. We're going to talk podcasting. He has a podcast called Becoming the Architect. Check it out. I'm sure he's going to give you some web links towards the end of our conversation today, where to find him and how to listen to his show. We're going to talk about number 2 topic. What advice would we give to a chiropractic student? Huge takeaways there. I know he just got back from a CE event at Life College down in Marietta, learning some things, seeing what's going on with his colleagues and the people he finished school with. We're going to talk about finding your tribe, some mentors, some things that, might not be easy, but are necessary, like self-work and breath work. And I think there's a lot of things that we're going to jam on today. But before we get into this episode of the Chiro Hustle Podcast, episode 672, I tell you our big why. Why do we do what we do over here? Well, first things first is freedom of speech. We would never censor you. And if you do love this show, please share it. If you have a chiropractic student in your life or somebody that maybe has lost their way, share this show and get the fire back into their hearts and souls with the Chiro Hustle Podcast. I can't say that enough. Like, we know what it's like to be shadow banned and traffic throttled and censored, and we'd never do that to you. We do believe in medical freedom and family health freedom. If you need those things, find yourself a chiropractor and have those honest conversations with somebody that's going to guide you. Philosophically speaking, we protect the sacred trust. If you don't know what that is, it's BJ Palmer's last written words. Go to the show notes, click on that link, and you're going to learn more about chiropractic than you previously did before, I guarantee you. We support subluxation-based chiropractic. I know I shouldn't have to say that, but they're taking these topics out of our schools. Shame on them. So blast this podcast to all chiropracticologists, please. We also believe in innate intelligence, universal intelligence, and educated intelligence. We believe that when man or woman, the physical gets adjusted, it connects them to man or woman, the spiritual. I know some people are like, well, that's woo-woo, but wait till it happens to you. And then you're going to say, damn, those guys were right. So this is episode 672 of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. Dr. Brent, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be here.
Yeah, I met you at Mile High a couple weekends ago. Super honored to have you onto the show. You took action right away. So I'm excited, just getting on to be able to share your story on a platform like ours, I think is super cool. So I'm excited for you to tell people about your background and how you decided chiropractic was the right path for you. So let's just jump right into it and tell your story.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a really unique story. So I'm a former combat special operations Marine. I have about 14 tours under my belt. I've been to 60 countries. I used to buy airplanes for the government, Department of Defense, for the Air Force, Special Operations, Joint Special Operations Command. I am a federally licensed aviation mechanic and electrician by trade. So my background, I joined the Marines at 17 and I became a chiropractor at 33. So it was a really interesting journey. So I had a really rough childhood, grew up, joined the Marines, went to multiple tours, and didn't really have a purpose in life. My thing was serving other people. It was like being the hero, being that person that's willing to lay down their life, the martyr, right? And I came out of the military extremely broken, extremely lost. I got into college, was really traumatized. My PTSD was absolutely through the roof. I was emotionally a wreck. I was a drinker. I didn't have any moderation in my life. I didn't know how to control myself around women. I didn't know how to control myself with booze. I was a great student, however, because the Marine Corps taught me a lot of discipline. But I had massive anxiety and depression, and I didn't know how to manage that. And I got into college, and I started having anxiety attacks, and I started freaking out in the grocery store. I'd have a massive attack and have to go sit in my car, and I would literally be sitting in the car shaking because I couldn't control myself because of the stimulation in my environment. And it really just became this journey of how do I heal? How do I heal myself? And through that, I found chiropractic. I fell in love with the brain and the nervous system, and how it communicates, how this beautiful conversation of the innate intelligence of our body communicates with our environment, and how all of the chemistry inside of our brain and our body, how it all works together for us to function in life. And really, like, that was my story. And I found chiropractic and was able to find healing and love and appreciation and gratitude for life again. I found purpose and faith. Truly, I found faith again. And I will say, without faith, you are a purposeless person. You cannot bear the weight of the world on your shoulders like Atlas if you do not believe in something greater than yourself.
Listening to your story makes me resonate with our earlier conversation about, you were saying that you helped buy and sell expensive airplanes. And I was saying to you off camera, what if we treat everybody like an individual, that they had the valuation of one of these expensive airplanes? How would that change the way that we treated each other and the way that we valued interactions with each other? We'd probably treat it a whole lot different if everybody had $100 million price tag on their person, and how we appreciated them, how we served them, how we loved them. And that is us looking into that mirror, like you said. Like, the only way to get there is to find interest in yourself. And when you find interest in yourself, you can then give that to other people. So I think it's really cool that you learned how to be so disciplined, and you learned how to be a military man. And then you said, well, how can I fix my damn self?
Yep.
And that's a big reality, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's the work, right? When people are like, I'm doing the work. The work is yourself. You are the work. When you wake up, you have work to do, right? It's like people are like, they wake up and, oh my God, I have to go to work today. No. You don't have to do anything. You could lay in bed if you wanted to, but you get to. It's an opportunity. You get to wake up and work on yourself. You get to change. You get to impact someone else's life. You get to move the needle, right? Like, it's not about you. Like, as much as it is about you and as selfish as you can be about yourself, it's about that person on the table. It's about that person you can put your hand on. It's a person you can look them in the eye. You can open the door for them. You can pull the table, take their coat. You can simply just give them some gratitude for life, and just give them an opportunity to say that the world is not as harsh as it is, because the world's savage. Nature's savage, and it will eat you alive if you let it. But finding love, finding unconditional love and gratitude through that's humanity. And when you get adjusted, it's like you reattune yourself back to that natural rhythm. But people are so disconnected from it because they're so connected to their phone. And it's such a beautiful conversation, that an opportunity for us to serve the world and serve humanity. And this truly is the greatest profession. I could honestly say that. I've been around the world and seen a lot of things. This is the greatest profession in the world.
I believe that too. And I can feel your passion similar to the way I'm sure people can feel my passion when I talk about chiropractic. And it is very misunderstood when it comes to the audience of outside looking in. That's why the chiropractic profession is probably never seen between 8 to 10% of the US population at one time. And I think that when you think on those terms, we have to do better getting this message out to the 90 percenters and the 92 percenters. And I do love what you said there about, finding it within ourselves to give to other people. And that this profession, it is something very special. And it has such a significance to make an impact on humanity. But we have to get right with the profession first. And I think that takes me to the second question that I have is, what advice would you give to chiropractic students? Because I know you were just down at Life over the weekend and you had a chance to actually immerse yourself with people that finished school with you and just to see what's actually happening on the front lines of chiropractic. So what advice would you maybe share with other people that are similar to you?
It's a loaded question because there's really only one answer. You as a student must become authentic with your artistic authenticity. Don't try to be someone else. There's so many great chiropractors that we idolize. We look to them and we're like, I want to be like Tim Young. I want to be like Brent Jones. I want to be like DeJarnette. I want to be like Minardi. Be you. Be authentically you, but be so obsessive with your authenticity that you can sit down and read from front to back the Gonstead manual, but you're not a Gonstead doc. You just want to know the analysis and the information of Clarence Gonstead and how he practiced and what the Gonstead doctors have done for the profession. Sitting down and reading the Thompson manual because you just want to know, how does Thompson work? How does the neurological drop work? Those are part of the obsession that you have to become to be a great chiropractor. So as a student, become obsessed. Expose yourself to as much as you possibly can and go all in. Don't hold back. Don't be afraid of failure. Expect failure. And honestly, look for no's. It's going to prepare you for practice. Look for the no, not the yes.
I'm just going to build on top of what you said there a little bit too. And not only do you have to understand technique and you have to understand not to follow other people as idols, but you also have to become great at what you do and have belief in what you do. And no matter what technique you decide to go out there and practice with, you have to be fundamentally sound and understanding that this is a business and that business doesn't always involve always having fun. And there are times that you're going to have to go out there and do a lot of things that don't feel good. And there are going to be times where you have to live outside your comfort zones in order to make it. And I think that that's a huge thing for people to hear on a show like this is look, you don't always have to go out, be authentically you, become the best adjuster you can be. But if you don't understand the life of business and that it doesn't come easy, that's probably one of the best things. So I know that there was some number 5 question that I have for people is who your mentors are. And I think we could roll right into that one and just talk about that. Why was it important for you to find such good mentors? Why was that a part that helped you become who you are today and not be afraid to go start your own business and not be afraid to understand that technique matters and I can't be somebody else. I have to be me.
Yeah. And there's a few things, and I'll bring it back to what you asked earlier about the $100 million airplane thing. In aviation, we have something called all tools accounted for, all parts accounted for, meaning there is an absolute integrity of every single part that is touched. So you have a toolbox that is itemized, that has a binder attached to it with an inventory list that has serial numbers etched on every single tool. Everything is marked. All parts, all tools are marked and accounted for before the job starts and when the job's finished. And actually in the middle of the job too. So if we could treat ourselves with that integrity, such as I show up for myself with such an integrity that my routines, my habits, my behaviors, my traits, my characteristics, my thoughts, my actions, these things are going to be in alignment with an integrity. And when you're finding yourself as a student, as a doc, as a human, finding a mentor that can guide you and keep you in line with your authentic integrity, it's so important. You can learn something from everyone, but there's certain people that you'll gravitate towards. Arnold Bernier, going to MLS seminars, going to KTC seminars as a student, going to Centropy seminars as a student, being able to get poured into. One of my mentors, Michael Smeka, he's in Georgia. He was a network chiropractor and started doing Catalyst. He evolved. He saw something where he needed the profession to evolve if the licensing or something happened. So he had something of evolution in practice that he wanted to take it to the next level and give it back. And there's this evolution in chiropractic. Tim Young sees a lot of people. He only works like 20 hours a week. And that's his model. So finding people that you can find a model and a system like in business that you can imitate and make it your own that works really well, that's so important. If it's exercise, breath work, if it's morning routines, if it's your nutrition, these are all compounding cofactors in your life that if you look to someone that perhaps may be more obese, they smoke, they drink a lot, well, do you think that the people that you're going to be around are going to influence you to be more like them and do their things? Absolutely they are. So find mentors that are in alignment with who you want to become and move more towards that.
I think that finding your tribe is important within this profession for sure. I think finding mentors that you can learn from is so darn important, specifically for young chiropractors when they come out. And those become the people that you refer your buddies to. You know, you're like, hey, I learned these things from this group of people. You should maybe check this out too. And then you start frameworking this mastermind. And I think that that's probably the most valuable thing that a chiropractor will get to, is that point where they are sound in their techniques, they are sound in their philosophy, they are sound in getting their degree and passing their boards. Now you're like, well, I'm learning some things. And I think that that's a really cool place for chiropractors to get to.
Absolutely. And you know, there's something important with that. Like, it's great to be philosophical. It's great to be theological. It's great to have all this understanding. But if you're not walking the walk, it's just words, right? Don't be a hypocrite. If you're going to be philosophically driven and preach the principle, live it. Make it so much so that you are the epitome of the philosophy. It is undeniable that you are living it, and people will naturally resonate with that and want what you have.
That takes us to this next big topic, which is podcasting. And I know you have one called Becoming the Architect, and you have your roots from the legendary Chiropractor podcast. Talk to me about how the podcasting arena has been significant in your life.
Oh man, getting out of your own way. It allows, when you hit the record button, you get this anxious jitter that you have to work through. There's a state change you have to move through, right? Before you walk into the office for the day and you got a big day, it's like that state change. You got to center yourself and align yourself, drop in, and know that you're absolutely perfect exactly how you are right now, because you are in your best self and your best version of yourself. That is so important, because podcasting, it's not about you. As much as it is, it's not about you. It's about the person that you're talking to. It's about their story, just like in practice. Don Miller wrote a great book, was it Building Your Story Brand? And I loved it. I took away from that, you're the hero of the story. So I allow you to be the story and have your story told, and then move through that. So Becoming the Architect was an opportunity for me that allowed me to interview people, just like how we're talking now. What is the blueprint of your success, right? How did you show up and get here? How did you move through life to beautifully align to be the person that you are? And tell us how, because everyone's going to be able to take away at least one thing from a person. And if they can implement that and have a call to action to follow through, and there's accountability created around it, oh man, now we're talking about life-changing events. And so that was the premise of me creating Becoming the Architect, which branched off of the legendary Chiropractic podcast. As a student, I was interviewing docs. I was super nervous to hop on a call with a doc, been in practice for 20 years. And I'm like this baby chiropractor getting ready to graduate school. And you work through that imposter syndrome of being afraid of your peers. Because as a student, we get so boxed in and we get shoved down with fear and scarcity that we're afraid almost to talk to people, to get out of our comfort zone, to have a conversation, and then be vulnerable and record it and put it on the internet, right? Like that's the big thing, is recording it, putting it on the internet. That can be a lot for some people. For instance, my military background is don't ever put anything on social media or the internet. So for me to be a podcast host, I had to move through all these emotions that the military had programmed into me to be able to hit the record button. So overcoming imposter syndrome, understanding that it's okay, you're just a human and you're going to get out there, you're going to talk to people, and people are just people. Their accolades and their accomplishments are after being a human being.
Yeah, I listened to this guy more frequently recently than before. Is this guy named Alex Hormozy. And today's podcast, I listened to him on his little solo rant, was basically 30 things to do to not be broke. And basically he looked at like all these different ways that people become broke. And he's like, well, I'm just going to put it all out there for you. And this is what you do if you want to be broke. So he took all these things and like looked at like very matter of factual, right at what it is. And one of the things I took away from this is don't take advice from people that are broke.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like that's a big takeaway. And all these people that give people advice, make sure that they're coming from a place that you have respect for. And I think that so many times people pass on their fears to you, and they pass on their why nots to you. And instead of, as humans, we're developed to find problems.
Oh yeah.
You made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. This episode is brought to you by Excite Medical and the DRX 9000, Peach State Payments, Recover, Chiro HD, Softwave, Cool Blue BA, Chiro Health USA, Chiro Script AI, Chiro Moguls, The Chiro Speaking Company, Pure Chiro Notes, 5-Star Forge, Kytronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, Life Chiropractic College West, and the IFCO. You can benefit from our full list of sponsors by visiting the sponsor page at chirohustle.com/sponsors. Links in the description. Now, let's hustle. Like if I said, hey, Dr. Brent, let's talk about the 5 problems of chiropractic. It wouldn't be a problem for us to find 5 problems. But if we said, hey, let's find 5 solutions to chiropractic, then that is basically telling you what we have to do to avoid those problems. So it depends on how we look at this thing. And that's the beautiful thing about your background of being in the military and then saying, hey, I have to reprogram myself to think like a creator. And I have to reprogram myself to not think about my ego. And I know that I'm an amazing person, but this person doesn't know me. They don't know how great of a guy that I am. And now I have to impress upon them that I'm doing the right things and I'm not going to like ruin this opportunity. And I'm going to make it like actually good. And I'm going to do a great job with this. And we're going to have fun doing this. And I'm going to give myself permission to be great rather than thinking that I'm going to suck and nobody wants to listen to what I have to say and I'm going to mess things up. So I think it's cool that you actually like took some of this learned skill. Like talking to people is not easy. And when I met you at Mile High, I was like, dang, this guy's dialed in. He's good. He wants to do a great job for the future of this profession. And that's the big takeaway for me when I first met you. Plus you take action, and like that cannot be overlooked. Like when you find people that actually like take an opportunity and appreciate it and take action on it, those are my people. Like, I think that's the big takeaway for people that listen to the show. Like, look, I know that we've done 1,300 interviews over 7 years, but that number doesn't matter to me. That's just shop talk. What matters to me is the person that never knew about chiropractic that listens to our conversation today and says, that's a solution for my family. That's a solution for me. That's what I want to do when I grow up. I want to be like Dr. Brent. I want to be a host like James. I want to do something that matters to this world. And I think it's chiropractic. And they didn't know that before they listened to this.
That is the mission, right? That is the mission of chiropractic. We have to change the environment of the human that we engage with, right? Chiropractic is a state change of environment. And it literally is the internal environment and the external environment. And we often forget about the internal environment. We can move into a little bit of breath work here, that this is an opportunity for us to look at the internal landscape of who we are. You know, you spend 6 to 8 hours laying in bed still every single day. Some people more, some people less. But either way, you're going to lay your head on the pillow at some point. You're going to lay there for a period of time. And then you're going to get up and you're just going to start moving. You're going to start doing things. I don't know. Because how long have you spent in that pretty little meat suit you call a body? Right? How much intentional time, movement, breath, thought, and just really just that intentional, the word's escaping me, but it's an essence of self. Can you tap into yourself? Can you sit with your thoughts? People struggle with meditation. Meditation isn't hard. It's because they're trying to do things instead of being. You're trying to do. The action is of the sit. It is not of the thought, the look, the states of observation, because those are passive, right? A state of observation is a passive action. We are not actively observing. We are passively observing our thoughts. Meditation is not a state of as much action as it is that passiveness of taking a step back and finding stillness in all of the chaos. One of my favorite things, one of my mentors whenever I was in the military told me, he goes, you cannot control the things that are outside of you. You can only control the way that you respond to them. And that sat with me for years, because when you hop off of the ramp of a helicopter in a third world country, and it's you and a group of other guys, and the helicopter flies away, there's no going home. Not until the mission's done. That's chiropractic, baby. We just stepped off the ramp. We got stuff to do. And that's up here, man. Like, you have to overcome the emotions. You have to overcome the feeling of scarcity and fear. I love fear. I love it. I look forward to being afraid of things, because I'm going to convert and transmute that fear into excitement, into courage. I look forward to doubt. Doubt me. Please doubt me. Please tell me I can't do something, because I will do it. And I will do it with excellence and grace. It may not be pretty in the beginning, but by the time I'm done with it, the time you see it, it's going to be a tailored machine.
Yeah, I love that confidence level that you bring to this game. And I really believe that you are the future of this profession. I really believe that you're going to set standards and you're going to become the mentor for this next generation of chiropractors, because you did the hard work and you figured things out that you weren't good at. And you said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I'm going to make it to the point where I am successful as an adjuster. I am successful with my philosophy. The only thing that separates most people with understanding the word success is deciding that you've already made it. Like, so many people wait on this magical day or this magical moment or this magical goal, this line that they cross in financials, or this line that they cross with a degree. And then it's now I'm successful. Well, damn it, you're successful today. And that's the part where most people never will find success, because they can have all the money in the world and they never felt like they were successful. They can have a beautiful family. They don't feel like they've made it and they're successful. They can have the greatest existence on planet Earth, and they don't feel like they're successful. So I think that that's a big thing for people that listen to this to take away from our conversation today is, look, decide that you're successful today, and decide that you can be the benchmark of other people learning, and you can be the vessel to teach people. And people do learn by example. And there's not a lot of great people of integrity out there. So be that. And that's what I saw from you, from like the first like handshake to the time that we sat there and talked at Mile High, was this guy has some integrity. This guy is doing the work. He wants greater for this profession. He wants greater for himself. He might have been afraid of some things, but we burned the ships, bro. We're not going back. Like there's no going back to the old life. Like there's only going forward, and we have to forge this together. And if we don't attract good people in our life and we don't learn from them and get the takeaways, even the bad people, you could learn something from them to take away from where we're going together. So the philosophy matter, your technique matters, your mentors matter. Who you become as the chiropractor is dependent upon you. And I really believe when I saw you that like that was like a mission inside of you without you even saying that to me. Like I knew that you were serious.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I truly believe that without chiropractic, without the healing that I've found through this profession and this career, and just being a chiropractor and being around the people that are in this profession, they are so unique. You know, I had the opportunity to meet a gentleman at Mile High who'd been in practice for 41 years. I was adjusting another chiropractor, and he walked over to me. He was like, "How long have you been in practice?" It's like 2 years. He goes, "What you have is special." He goes, "Don't ever lose it. Continue to refine it." And he goes, "This is the only profession that I've ever found that the clearer that the doctor becomes with themselves, the more work they do on themselves, the better their care gets, the better the results of their patient, and the better their life becomes." We are a mirror. You know, this goes back to kind of the breathwork, sitting in the meditation. It's like, how clear is your mirror when you look at yourself when you close your eyes? Are you afraid to look at yourself? Are you afraid and you avoidant and dismissive of yourself, that version of yourself that you're hiding inside of yourself and you're unwilling to show the world? Because that's the real you. That's the real you. Not this version that you're showing the world. That's a persona. Get over that. Crumple that. Egoically die. Egoically kill that version of yourself so you can authentically express yourself and come out of the soil and grow. And man, I cannot express that this profession has the potential to change the world. My goal for chiropractic is to revolutionize healthcare globally. I want chiropractors to be the portal of entry, like the primary care. You're coming to a chiropractor to get adjusted because your nervous system's out of alignment. One, you know that. That must be in alignment. Two, we have to take care of the biological system and how it operates. Chemistry. Like, you know, I'm a bit of a mixer because my journey led me down a psychological path to understand the neurochemistry of how my psychology was showing up and influencing and affecting me positively and negatively. Now, as a doctor, clinically, it's my job to take care of people in totality. You have these chiropractors that are the dogmatic principled chiropractors, and I'll call it out. It's like the old version of chiropractic. In today's world, we're overstimulated. We have too much stimulation in today's world. Adjusting the spine will only get you so far, I believe. The person has to have the belief they will heal too. That means that your conviction and your confidence as a doctor, a facilitator, and a practitioner has to be exemplary. If you doubt yourself, if you doubt how you heal, how you show up, what you do for yourself, your patients will doubt you and the results will diminish.
There's a lot of hard truth there. And I see what you're sharing with our audience today is you have to become excellent. And you have to hold yourself to a high standard. But also know that you have to understand who you are before you can do that. That's a big part of how you become the chiropractor, is become excellent at what you do, but know who you are before you go and do it. And I think that there's a lot of takeaway there for people to start smiling more and like getting those aha moments. And you know, one of my mentors is John DeMartini, and he'd always tell me, James, you have to give yourself permission to be great. No one's going to give that to you. You have to give yourself permission to be great. Like, that's up to you. You know, as we've developed, you know, more simplicity in what we say, I hear people say this all the time. No one will do your push-ups for you.
Mm-mm.
Like it's just up to you. Like there are some things where it's like mano, like you have to be against yourself. Like you have to go against you and win that game. And when you do that, then you can start having more fun and you can start like learning how to help people more. But you have to like win that battle against yourself first. And that's a big thing for people to learn because not many people have to go fight. They don't have to go fight for what they want. They don't have to go fight for what they feel like they deserve in this world. But if you don't give yourself permission to go get it, you'll never get it. You'll never have it. It's not going to be your life. You're going to watch from the sidelines and you might not even clap because you're bitter.
Yeah. A vulnerable comment here. I grew up, a single wide trailer. Like technically I'm white trailer trash from the lake. I grew up domestic abuse, domestic violence, substance abuse, I'm so grateful for my upbringing and how rough it was because it gave me the resilience to understand that I have to work for every single thing that I have in this life. Nothing is given to me. And the moment you think it's going to give to you, it's going to be taken away by somebody else that wants it more than you. That's scripture. Matthew 25:29. That's the Matthew principle. If you think that you have the advantage, over time, you'll gain more advantages. But if you think that you have the disadvantage, you will have the disadvantage. You will get more disadvantages over time. Your beliefs truly manifest into your life, into your reality. And my life has been a struggle. My life has been an uphill battle. Like when you read a book or you watch a story and it's the underdog story, what you see today, the person that I am and what I have in this life, I have worked so hard for. And I have struggled. I've been home 3 times. I've been out. I've done a lot of work to get to where I'm at. And I can tell you that no matter what you've been through, no matter what you've experienced, you can and will overcome it. I can, I will, I must. For a smooth sailor is not made on smooth seas. A skilled sailor is made on rough seas. And you have to be a great captain at all times. I truly believe that that is the way. That just shut up and color, do the work. Don't make it about you. Make it about the mission, the legacy. Because if you put the weight on you, you'll crumple every time. But if you put it on someone else and do it for someone else, you'll show up for them more than you show up for yourself.
That was one of my takeaways from working in a clinic for 6 years. One of the first things that the doc ever told me is you're going to care more about these people's health than they will themselves.
Yeah.
And just hearing you say that, all these people come from a various level of background and they think that life is supposed to be easy. If they just came at it with the understanding that life is supposed to be hard, then they would enjoy it a whole lot more when things got hard on them. Because then they would look at it as, hey, now I get a chance to go figure something new out, rather than thinking that it's supposed to be good all the time. Like that's the part where most people's psychology can never go, is knowing that, hey, this is a blessing to have no chaos today. This is a blessing to have like smiles and laughter and happiness. Like that's a blessing. It's not always that way. So many people don't understand like where we've all come from. We all have a grit, and we all have something that got us to where we're going. But I really believe that what you said is true. Who we become is who we allow ourselves to be. And if all I saw was, this is vulnerable too. I'm going into 6 years of sobriety from alcohol. If I allowed myself to continuously think that I was supposed to be like my family, then that's who I would be, and I would have that type of a life. Now people follow my journey, dude. They see me speaking on stages, places. They see me interviewing the smartest people in the world, including yourself. They see me on this divine path, but I had to determine that that's what I wanted. And here's the last thing that I think is a takeaway for people. Whatever you're really good at, don't stop doing that when you actually get good at it. Like continuously do that thing that you're really good at, even though you feel like you shouldn't be doing it anymore. But don't ever like forget how you got to where you are. Like, continuously do the things that got you to where you are, and don't just set them down to go look for new things to get better at. Like, constantly keep that as your core value of who you are, but don't ever get really, really talented with something and decide I'm not going to use that as a skill going forward in my life. Like, that has to be like the cornerstone of who you are and how you move forward in this reality. So, Dr. Brent, I know we're a bit over our time today. I love this conversation. There's so much heart and soul in here. A lot of real truth being spoken today. And anybody that listens to this, you got to this point, please share the show. Share this with some students. Share this with some struggling colleagues. Share this with somebody that's like needs an identity like breakthrough. You're going to get that with today's chat today with Dr. Brent. So at this point in the interview, I give people the opportunity, if there's something I didn't ask about that they want to talk about, because I know that I pre-framed this out with a lot of different content. So is there anything that you'd like to share with our audience today that we didn't talk about?
I think it's just to land the plane on the previous conversation. Find your tribe. Find people that are similar to you. Find people that love your hobbies, your interests. Make sure they're positive in their uplifting interests, that are constructive, not destructive in nature. So for me, I live here in Colorado. I spend a lot of time outside in nature. I find nature very healing. A really great book is The 3-Day Effect, to reattune yourself to nature, to desensitize yourself to the way of the city life. Matthew McConaughey's like washes the city off you. But find the tribe that loves doing the things you do. If you love running marathons or cycling or triathlon or riding a bicycle, going to the gym, going to yoga, going to bar, Pilates, do things that are physically motivating, because there's a spiritual essence to motion and to getting in movement. So find people that want to grow, that have a growth mindset. If you're in practice, go to places that people, they support the things you love to do. So you surround yourself with practice members that love being in the same environments that you do. And that really compounds and affects your life positively in all aspects. So that's really the last thing I have to say about any of that. Fall in love with yourself unconditionally. Don't neglect yourself. So many of us have generational trauma from our parents in our childhood, that it was a conditional love, that it was a transactional love, that we didn't experience unconditional love. Give that to yourself. You've said the word permission on here several times today. Give yourself permission, because no one else will ever give it to you, and they will only take it from you. So give yourself the permission to love yourself unconditionally, to welcome yourself unconditionally, to give yourself grace, and to ultimately just authentically be you and love that version of you.
Amen. And I'll close out by telling people I've been in rooms full of multimillionaires and masterminds where people are making 100 million a year, and very, very wealthy people. And what I learned the most about all these groups is there's two things that stop people from appreciating who they really are: clarity as to why they do what they do, and love. And it's usually self-love. And if you don't love yourself, you can't get that from other people. So to close out, if people wanted to learn more about you or work with you, where can we send them to?
Architect Chiropractic on all social medias. I do have a YouTube for Architect Chiropractic that I post the podcast on. I'm also on all of the major podcasts and like Spotify, Anchor, all of that stuff as well. We're constantly producing more content, and we're going to start doing adjusting videos here soon. So look out for that as well.
Well, Dr. Brent Jenogan, you are episode 672 of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. Thank you for being our guest today.
Absolutely, James. Thank you for having me. It's truly been an honor, a privilege, and just thank you for the time and space, my man.
Yeah, I close out every time by telling you guys, you're just one story away. Keep hustling. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye for now. Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.